The structure of the client's hair and the desired results determine which hair color to use. The structure affects the quality and ultimate success of the hair color service. We will be focusing our lesson on pages 671 and 672. Our learning objective is to explain how the hair's porosity affects hair color. Hair is composed of three major components: the cuticle, the cortex, and the medulla. The cuticle is the outer, protective layer of the hair shaft. It protects the interior cortex layer and contributes up to 20% of the hair's overall strength. The cortex is the middle layer of the hair shaft. A healthy cortex contributes about 80% of the overall strength of the hair. It contains natural melanin, which determines the hair's natural color. The medulla is the innermost layer of the hair shaft. The medulla is generally only present in coarser hair types. The medulla does not play a role in hair coloring and therefore will not affect a hair color's final outcome. Hair texture is defined as the diameter of the hair shaft. Hair texture plays an important role in hair coloring in reference to how much space needs to be filled in when performing a coloring service. Think of this in terms of coloring circles in a coloring book. Coloring small circles will not take much ink, whereas coloring larger circles require more ink to fill in the circles. Fine hair, or hair with a small diameter, will take color faster, as there is not much space to fill in. However, coloring fine hair can make hair appear darker, as it doesn't have much room to fit in very many hair color molecules, as they become cramped and overlap one another. Medium textured hair accepts color on an average. It doesn't take too long to process, and the color molecules have room to spread out, therefore, it tends to be a truer, or more even tone of color. Coarse hair has such a large diameter that it takes longer to process. Coarse hair also generally appears lighter than the intended color, as there is so much room inside the cortex for the molecules to move about. Density is another aspect that will affect the final results of a hair color process. Density is defined as the number of hairs per square inch. Thin hair density reflects only a few hairs per square inch. Medium density will reflect an average number of hairs per square inch. Thick hair will reflect an abundance of hairs per square inch. Porosity is the hair's ability to absorb moisture. The degree of the hair's porosity will determine how much and how fast the hair will absorb hair color products. Hair that has low porosity has a tightly closed cuticle layer and will not absorb moisture willingly. Hair with low porosity is very resistant to hair color. Hair that has an average porosity has a slightly open cuticle layer and will accept hair color properly. Hair with a high porosity has a wide open cuticle. While hair with a high porosity will take color quickly, it will also tend to fade quickly, as the cuticle layer is so open, it cannot hold the pigment molecules inside the hair shaft properly. Understanding all of these aspects to a client's hair structure will help you make informed decisions when it comes to formulating and applying hair color products that will achieve the look your client ultimately desires. Take a few moments to contemplate various combinations of texture, density, and porosity. What is your hair's texture? What is your hair's density? What is your hair's porosity? How easy or difficult may it be for your hair to absorb hair color, or what challenges might you face when working with hair types like yours?